Hey guys, so we all remember April 14th, forever a day seared in our brains when the Blue Origin space crew flew their heels, their girl bosses, their extensions, their manicured tips into space for 11 minutes and they flew back down. Now listen, I said it before in my other video, two of those women are actual scientists, no qualms, no beefs with them. Pretty much everyone's critique were the celebrities because they bought their way in. Specifically Katy Perry, who you have a vision or a perspective that most people do not have. Carl Sagan wrote The Pale Blue Dot because he was so affected by the ability to see Earth from a point so far away. And the existential thoughts that he had from it, the growth, the humbling. William Shatner did the same thing. Okay? Katy Perry, when she was up there, when she had the perspective to look at Earth, she's looking at a camera and looking at a daisy. It appeared to be just shameless promotion, okay? Well, she has responded. She was talking to her fans, and this is what she said, and I guess she is just saying it to everybody, right? So I'll be reading it. So let's start. So she posted this online to her fans. I'm so grateful for you guys. We're in this beautiful and wild journey together. I can continue to remain true to myself, heart open and honest, especially because of our bond. She wrote, I love you guys and have grown up together with you and am so excited to see you all over the world this year. Please know I am okay. I have done a lot of work around knowing who I am, what is real, and what is important to me. My therapist said, no one can make you believe something about yourself that you don't already believe about yourself. When the online world tries to make me a human piñata, I take it with grace and send them love, because I know so many people are hurting in so many ways. And the internet is very much so a dumping ground for unhinged and unhealed. She stays positive by trying to keep a focus on what's real. Seeing your faces every night, singing in unison, reading your notes, feeling your warmth, I find people to lock eyes and sing with. And I know we are healing each other in a small way when I get to do that. I'm not perfect. I omitted that word from my vocabulary. I'm a human. I'm on a human journey, playing the game of life with an audience of many, and sometimes I fall. But I get back up and go on and continue to play the game, and somehow through my battered and bruised adventure, I keep looking to the light, and in that light, a new level unlocks. Okay, let's talk about it. Start from the beginning. Okay, the beginning, fine. The beginning, I don't really have anything to say about that. She's grateful to her fans. I guess she kind of needed I don't know if any of her fans were telling her like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Is everything all right? All the criticisms, and she's responding to that, or if she just like needed an outlet and she's like, okay, I just need somewhere to put this, so I'm not sure about that. She's excited to see her fans. I think that that's fine. I don't know about her saying she has a bond with her fans. I think it's more realistic to be like, I'm appreciative, I'm so grateful for you guys. Bond, I'm not really sure, but I don't think it's anything crazy. The part where she says to her therapist, no one can make you believe something about yourself that you don't already believe about yourself. It's a little wordy. I think it's very similar to Eleanor Roosevelt's famous quote, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. So that might have been better. It was a little bit of a word salad. I think it's pretty much in the same park. Yeah, I think it's just a much more beautiful way of saying that, but okay. When the online world tries to make me a human pinata. Now, I've seen a lot of people criticizing her because there is something to criticize. I haven't seen many people being overboard, violent, rude. Like, you know what I'm saying? The part where she says the internet is a dumping ground for, she was grammatically incorrect, for the unhinged and unhealed, there's truth there. There's truth there. There's parts of the internet that even I don't want to go and venture into. Like, you need a hazmat suit for certain parts of the internet. That's true. But her response, it just adds fuel to the fire. It's just like, this was the problem in the beginning. It's like, there's no part of this, as you can see, it's her, it's her, it's her. My bonds with my audience. My therapist said this. They've made me into a human pinata. You guys are the unhealed, unhinged. I've done the work on myself. First of all, you're never done working on yourself. That's first of all. And good therapy should force you to be critical of yourself. To be like, I'm being an asshat right now. It should be simple. It should be straightforward. I've been in therapy. My therapist will straight up be like, oh, so you're on the pity pot? Okay, we don't have anything to talk about today then. If you're on the pity pot, like, what are we doing here? Right? That's happened before in the past, and sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need someone to put their hand on your shoulder and be like, what are you doing right now? You're showing your ass. Figure it out. You know, it's a very being a good therapist is genuinely very difficult, because there's a very fine line of, you really have to understand the recovery process. You have to understand where people are at, and you have to be able to know when to offer sympathy and empathy and when to give that tough love, right? Sorry, my phone was about to fall. You have to be able to know when to do that. So most of the criticisms about this has been like, people can't afford food. The average person is struggling right now. People in their 20s are looking at a very crappy job market. Healthcare is abysmal. All of the things going on with politics, institutions closing, opportunities are lessening, things are bleak, and she is choosing to make this statement all about herself, all about herself, all about herself, which is exactly what people said from the beginning. This is all about you. You are giving this amazing opportunity. People can't even buy groceries, and you've publicized it and you've put it out there. I listened to a podcaster, Tim Dillon. He's very funny, but he said they could have done this quietly. If you guys have the resources, if you have the money, do that quietly. And then if it comes out, it's like, yeah, you know, they'll still be like jokes and people still make fun of it, but it's not the same as publicizing it, as hosting this panel where you're answering questions, where you have interviewers. You made this a public event, and guess what? The public skewered you because the public did not give a damn. Don't care. And now you're over here saying that everyone tried to make you like a human pinata. Listen, if there I'm sure that with this criticism there have definitely been trolls and people have taken it too far, but for the most part I've seen like a lot of humor come out of this, and I've seen valid criticisms. The fact that she hasn't been able to just look at it critically and be like, I get it, maybe I shouldn't have publicized that, maybe I shouldn't have tied that to the publicity for my tour and my album. You know what I'm saying? Like, the public didn't want it. It is what it is. She keeps positive by focusing on what's real, reading your notes, feeling your warmth. I find people to lock eyes and sing with, and I know we are healing each other in a small way when I get to do that. Maybe they're just fans of your music. Maybe they're just out to have a good time, and maybe when you lock eyes, it's just kind of cool. Like, oh, cool, you know, I'm a fan of Katy Perry. This is cool. This is just a fun, cool time. Like, does everything have to be so heavy? Is everything healing? Is everything a therapeutic moment? No, it's not. What are we talking about right now? What's real? She's omitted the word not perfect from her vocabulary. Yeah, that's okay. A lot of people, they kill themselves striving for perfection. It's okay to let that out. You're never gonna. I feel like in terms of perfection, sometimes it can be a good motivator, right? Sometimes it could be, you know, when I say that, I am thinking of Remember the Titans and their perfect season. I swear to, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, well, that was pretty badass, right? Or I'm thinking of the Miami Dolphins and their perfect season. They went to 3 Super Bowls. They lost the first one. They went to the second one and they finished with a perfect season. And then the third one, they won again. They won, but they didn't have a perfect season. I'm pretty sure that is correct. My dad is a big Miami Dolphins fan. And that's pretty cool. And sure, the other teams, they have a whole bunch of Super Bowl wins, but so far no one has defeated the Miami Dolphins' perfect season. So I like that. Sometimes I think if there's a goal or something, like I want a perfect season, I want to do that. I don't think that there's anything wrong in trying to do that, as long as you have some good boundaries, still present in your kid's life, you're still taking care of business. I think that some great things can come out of that. But you as a human being being perfect, no, it's not human nature. That's not who we are. So, she has some of that. There's some. I'll give her that. I'll give her like half a point. I'm on a human journey playing the game of life. Okay. With an audience of many. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not a normal experience for sure. And sometimes I fall. But did you fall? Did you really fall? I get back up and go on and continue to play the game. And somehow, this is the part where she lost me, through my battered and bruised adventure. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm sure that she has gone through trials and tribulations. She wasn't always the Katy Perry of today. She grew up, she had events in her life. I'm not saying that she hasn't had bad things or traumatic things. But she had the wealth and the resources to go on a joyride to space. And people criticized her. That's not a battered or bruised adventure. That was you enjoying, and you could say the fruits of your labor. It is what it is. You're a pop star. You took your money and you went out for a joyride. Why does everything become this oh my god, that's part of what's kind of wrong with society. And it's like the over speaking of therapy. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a lady and she put on Instagram on like how to end a friendship, and she was like, you can just go up to the person and be like, our season of friendship has ended. Who talks like that? Who talks like that? That is this over therapeutic way of handling things. Like, I have a therapist, and sometimes we'll talk and we joke, we have a great relationship. Sometimes I'll be like, yeah, fuck him. Fuck that guy. Fuck that person. That's it. Sometimes you crack jokes. Not everything has to be this my battered and bruised adventure. Like, you don't have to over pontificate on everything. Sometimes things just are what they are. Like, what are we doing here? I feel like the moments that require depth and that require analyzation and that require more, we fail. And then we take these tinier moments that require more humor or humility, and we take out, we go, we unravel a scroll, we take our quill, we dip it in our ink, and we're like, on this fortnight I stand here because I posted to Instagram and I, in my follies. What are we doing? It's too much. It's too much. We are both too much and not enough as a society, and it's a lot. I keep looking to the light, and in that light a new level unlocks. Okay. All right. I brought this up in my previous video, and I was thinking about this as I'm reading this. Everything is about her, about her, about her. She has a 4-year-old daughter. Is there any moment where she talks about, I was very afraid that something might go wrong, and I was very afraid about what would happen to my daughter, and I talked to Orlando Bloom about it? Nothing. Nothing. Everything is you, my journey, my spiritual light. When I look at my fans, we are healing each other. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. This is exactly what people said. And what therapist is doing this and is not, like, on the one hand, like, there are sometimes you have a client and they're just not getting it, right? Sometimes it's like, all right, they gotta figure this out, but it's still your duty to tell them. It's still your duty to kind of poke and prod a bit. It's like, so let's look at this critically, because if not, you're just going to be stuck, and you're going to be stuck, and you're going to be stuck in that same way of thinking. Like, shut up. No. And none of that did she say. You know, I've been thinking about what other people go through, what other people experience. It was just, the levels of narcissism in that comment were staggering. It is exactly what you would expect from someone who is given the opportunity to look at Earth from a different point of view. We don't get to see that, and is just looking at a camera and looking at a daisy. What are you doing? You know, I saw this too on social media, and they were like, do you think that they're doing the Blue Origin spaceships so when Earth collapses, they're able to save the rich people? And there was a part of me, I'm like, maybe, but to be honest, can you imagine that society? Can you imagine that society? I'm not sure if I talked about this in the last video, but if I repeated myself, because I just picture that society, the levels of narcissism within those people. Just like, no humility, no compassion, or no real compassion or empathy, because that's what it is. It's all fake. It's anyone who criticized her is unhinged and unhealed. And all of the people who are her fans, who show up for her, they're healing each other. It's so nonsensical. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to get God. And I bet you she typed that, and she was like, I did it. She sealed it with a kiss, and she saged her room, and she's like, I did it, guys. And it's like, you look like a jackass. Shut up. I don't know. Send her back to space. Send this woman back to space. Let her revolve around the sun. I don't care. Send her away. Like, we got real fish to fry, man. We got a lot of things going on, and we don't need you crying up a storm over some BS. Man, you better buy us some blueberries, buy us some chicken eggs. What are you doing out here? I don't know. That irritated me. I saw that not that long ago, and I was like, oh no, it's too much. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Miss Katy Perry and her response to the criticisms. But I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.